and sustainability. In community work, burnout is common when boundaries aren't established. Boundaries ensure that individuals and groups can show up consistently without depleting their resources. As an example, a community organized limits the number of meetings they attend each week to protect their mental health, ensuring they can sustain long term activism. I am a huge proponent of sustainability in all things, and you have to have longevity in activism. This is hundreds, thousands of years even people have been trying and fighting against systems of oppression, right? We come for that. Some of us are, lineages old of this, that part of people that have been fighting for their own freedom for hundreds and thousands of years. Many of us are in one form or another. So when you think of it that way, when you stop thinking of yourself as new, every generation. When you think of yourself as connected to these people that have been going through this and fighting against that, you start seeing how long it really, really takes. Even if you just go from one or two generations, look at how long it's going to take. How are you going to sustain if you have no boundaries? I was watching women and femmes in my group, white women very specifically, and they had signed up for the 10-day unpacking challenge, and they signed up for, sustainability and activism, and like, okay, and now I'm gonna do this surge thing. And I'm like, it's not even January 1st. Like, you're doing so much, so many things. And it's very gun ho. And I get it, right? Like, as a person with ADHD, it's very much like, ooh, here's my new rabbit hole. I'm in love with this. Let me learn and let me fall in. But how soon will you hit the wall? And in activism, you can't hit a wall. You just can't. So the best way to do that is to build in those breaks. Remember, we talked about rest as being revolutionary, but it can't be the only thing, right? Like I've been noticing the whole, joy is an act of I y'all are aggy. Joy is an act of resistance, but it can't be the only resistance. Like, what? Joy is an act of resistance when you are stressed the hell out from resisting all the time, right? So you take out and you carve, right? That reclamation. I'm going to take back something that is mine. I'm going to take back my joy because I recognize that the system I'm consistently fighting against is here to steal my joy, and I'm going to take it back. Some of us came from church. Now I'm like singing church songs in my head, right? Everything that the devil stole, God's giving it back to me. Uh, so like it's that reclamation, right? Like, and it has to be built in or you will burn out. Even with this, right? I try to stay at the 30 minutes so it doesn't go on and feel like it's never ending because I could do this and sit for 2 and 3 hours every day with you guys, but you would burn the fuck out. Some people will burn out with 30 minutes a day. It's a lot to show up every day. What are you doing for your aftercare? Again, aftercare is super important in this sort of work. When you recognize it's grief work, when you recognize it's trauma work, what are we doing to sustain ourselves? What are we doing? Before I even got on the live, this morning was a hectic morning. I laid down for about 20 minutes and just regulated, chilled, scrolled through some Insta posts for fun and pretty pictures of, cats and dogs and shit. That's my sustainability before I get up and I come and show up for you guys and start running to doctor's appointments for children. Two, boundaries create clarity and reduce harm. We are always seeking harm reduction in all of the things, right? Harm reduction, how can that happen? So when you have clear boundaries, they help prevent misunderstandings, overcommitment, and conflict. They create clarity around rules, responsibilities, and expectations. This is so vital, right? Because we have to remember that we are constantly navigating a system that tells us who we are, what we're going to do, and the roles that we play. It is a constant battle. It is a constant battle, right? So I put as an example, mutual aid groups set clear guidelines for volunteer shifts so no one feels overburdened or unclear about their tasks. But I also want to add in like in your home, what do people have, the capacity for? I often talk about capacity. So I have 3 children who are at home, right, that are mine. That's one of them, and he will be 9 tomorrow. Yeah. I love him. The 12-year-old, right?
The
And
13-year-old,
the
probably.
5-year-old, and my nephew who's 2.5. Now, I am super well aware this one and the 12-year-old are